World. Before the sun rose for the first time, before the stars knew their names, heaven began preparing a banquet unlike any the world had ever imagined. This was not a gathering of earthly feasts or celebrations, but a table set in eternity itself, where love, joy, and peace awaited every soul who had journeyed faithfully through life's trials. Every detail of the banquet was intentional. The table, golden and radiant, stretched beyond what the eye could see, draped in linens that seemed woven from pure light. Plates glimmered with abundance, cups overflowed with joy, and baskets of fruit carried the vibrant colours of a world renewed. Every place had a name, and every name was known and cherished before the foundation of the universe. Angels moved gracefully among the tables, not as servers, but as companions. Their presence was gentle, their laughter soft, harmonizing with the music of creation itself. Light streamed from every direction, not harsh or blinding, but comforting, warm and alive, revealing the beauty of every guest who approached the table. Those who arrived had walked long journeys. They had known sorrow, faced fears, and carried burdens that often seemed too heavy. Yet here at this banquet, every tear was remembered and transformed into radiant joy. Every moment of waiting and every prayer whispered in the dark had led to this very table. As the guests took their seats, a sense of awe settled over them. There was no hierarchy here, no competition, no need to prove worthiness. Each soul was celebrated equally, each presence treasured. And in the centre of the grand table sat a chair glowing brighter than the sun, a symbol of welcome and belonging. This seat did not command, it invited. It said, "You are known. You are home." The feast began with a soft melody. At first it was faint, barely audible, but gradually it grew into a symphony of harmony. Voices joined together in songs that transcended words, carrying stories of endurance, courage, and love. Every note healed, every chord lifted spirits higher, and every song reminded the guests of the eternal truth. They had been loved before they even knew it. Bread was broken and shared, golden and soft, carrying a taste of every blessing ever given. Each bite reminded them of provision, sustenance, and grace that had been faithful all along. Cups were raised high, filled with a liquid that glowed like liquid sunlight, and drinking from them brought a sense of peace deeper than any earthly rest. Conversations flowed effortlessly. Guests shared their journeys, their victories, their moments of fear and hope. Stories were received not with judgment, but with admiration, understanding, and awe. Every experience, every trial, every tear contributed to the beauty of the banquet.
Couldn't agree more.
Children laughed freely, their joy spilling into the air untouched by fear or sorrow. Elders shared wisdom without burden, their words echoing with clarity and insight. Every guest found connection, belonging, and recognition in ways that went beyond human understanding. As the feast continued, the light above shifted gently, highlighting new details of wonder. Fruits shimmered with unseen colors. Golden goblets reflected the faces of angels and guests alike, and every candle flickered with the warmth of 1,000 sunsets. It was as though the entire creation had been distilled into this one moment of divine celebration. Angelic hosts guided the guests gently, pointing out dishes they might enjoy, yet never hovering. Their presence was a reminder that heaven is not only abundant but personal, attentive, and filled with care. Every interaction carried love, and every gesture whispered eternity. Music rose again, this time accompanied by soft winds that seemed to carry voices from ages past. Guests realized they were not alone. They, faithful of all generations, past and future, were gathered invisibly alongside them. This banquet was beyond time, beyond space. It was a convergence of all hope, all faith, and all love. Stories were told in whispers and songs of miracles witnessed, prayers answered, and struggles overcome. Every hardship was now transformed into a story of victory. Every disappointment became a step toward this eternal gathering. Guests wept not in sorrow, but in awe of the love that had carried them to this moment. The light at the center of the banquet, the chair, began to glow even brighter, revealing a presence both gentle and majestic. This presence did not demand attention, but radiated a quiet power, the power of complete acceptance, the power of perfect love. All hearts understood without words. Here they were home, fully known and fully cherished. As the hours passed, though time seemed meaningless here, new guests arrived. Each was welcomed with a warmth that dissolved loneliness. Names were remembered, faces recognized, and hearts instantly connected. It was as if the very air celebrated each arrival. Meals continued with abundance, not for the body alone, but for the soul. Fruits, breads, and cups brought memories of earthly provision and glimpses of heavenly glory. Every bite and every sip reminded the guests of the faithfulness that had brought them here. The laughter, songs, and conversations intertwined with the radiant light to form a symphony of joy. Guests realized that no one had ever truly been alone, that every prayer, every act of love, and every moment of faith had prepared them for this eternal gathering. In moments of quiet, guests reflected on their earthly journeys. They understood now that every struggle, every unanswered question, and every challenge had a purpose. Heaven had been preparing this banquet from the beginning, and everything had led to this moment of perfection. Even the simplest gestures, lifting a cup, sharing a plate, smiling at a neighbor, became sacred acts infused with eternity. Each interaction carried love, peace, and a sense of completeness that had been missing in life but found fully here. As the banquet reached its fullness, a profound truth settled in every heart. Heaven is not distant, it is near. Joy is not temporary, it is eternal. Love is not conditional, it is infinite. And in this place, all who had walked the paths of faith realized that they were part of a divine story far greater than themselves. The feast continued without end. Music, light, and laughter flowed as naturally as rivers. Guests rested without weariness, celebrated without envy, and rejoiced without hesitation. Every heart was full, every soul satisfied, every spirit at peace. And in that eternal gathering, one truth echoed through the brilliance of the banquet. This is the home for which you were made. This is the love you have longed for. This is the banquet beyond this world, eternal, perfect, and unending. If this video blesses you, kindly comment and like.